The 55th pick in the draft with Derek Gordon transferred and Maxey kind of moving on to greener pastures. I think it's a good starting point for us, and I'm hoping that our guys look at it as all right, this is where we are today, but by the time the league season rolls around, that we can make some noise against some of the teams that were picked ahead of us. But I realize that we do have a lot of young guys in key positions on our team that have to come along pretty quickly. But I'm excited. I think we got some guys that can step into that next category, whether it's Trey, Dante, Jabari. We were pretty effective last year early when Seth Berger was healthy, and I'm looking forward to that being the case. And then, Zach Coleman, Space, and the big guys have to do what I think they're capable of doing for us to kind of jump up the ladder. But I'm really worried about our out-of-conference right now. I'm not really worried about being picked 10th in the A-10 conference or whatever that might be. I want to get our team ready so that we can have a good squad early and compete at a high level, and then kind of be a good team as the A-10 league kind of rolls around.
Wasn't Davidson picked 10th last year?
I think they were 12th, by the way.
They were 12th.
Yeah. But, we were picked 10th the year that Chaz got eligible, and we went on a nice run, or 9th, 10th, 11th. We've been all over the board, and I think it's a good baseline for teams. The teams that have the most guys coming back are the most first-team players will be picked higher, and then we're all in the next category to say, okay, who can develop their players, who can get their young guys ready to go faster. And I kind of like where we are for as far as where we're starting at.
Are you sort of at a point where you don't entirely know what January 1st is going to look like, the way all the places things are going to shake out?
Yeah, I think so, because you wonder how fast Rashawn Holloway or Malik Hines can come along. Is Antoine Space going to fit into our lineup? Is Zach Coleman staying healthy? How good is Dante Clark going to be? Is Trey and Jabari and CJ where they're going to be? So there's a lot of questions that need to get answered, but I do like that we have guys that can fill those roles, and I do think we have a chance to improve more this year than maybe in years past as the league goes on, because we don't have as many guys that are familiar with how we're doing things.
Going back to the A-10 for a second, in past years you'd come out and say, basically you want to use kind of, I don't want to say snubs, but you've said I want to use this kind of as motivation. It's just more than ever. You can say, guys, look, we can use this as a kind of a push.
I don't think we need as much motivation this year. I would say that our guys realize that we need to get better and improve. Not having a guy anywhere near, I guess, any all-conference team or pick 10th, whatever you want to call it. If you're a player, you get motivated by that without the head coach having to remind you. Our guys have seen some of the media stuff on a national level and also now in the A-10, and they realize what people think about maybe them individually or us as a program and a team, and I think that could be a motivating factor just by it being out there, more so than me having to bring it up.
Is there enough of a price to describe how much Caddy meant to the program and how much he'll be missed? Well,
I'll tell you what, Caddy was an unbelievable asset to our team and program, both as a guy but also as a basketball player. In the 4-year run that he provided me in the UMass program, I think we'll go down someday when they're gone for a while as one of the better 4-year runs in kind of recent memory, and what he was able to do, not only numbers-wise but also as a presence, was huge for the program, and I think it allowed us to be thought of as one of the better teams in the conference and also put us on a national stage for a few years.
Coach, rule changes, what do you make of them? Are they going to help make the game better? What do you think?
I'm thinking so. I do like the the main ones. The 30-second kind of shot clock, I think, is the one that most people are talking about. That won't really affect us on the offensive end of the floor by any stretch, but also defensively, I think it'll allow teams to have to play and kind of force tempo a little bit faster. I like the change in the backcourt where the clock doesn't get reset on a timeout or if it goes out of bounds, and some of the other ones I think are there to continue to kind of speed up the pace of the game, and I kind of like them. I think they're going to be good for the game, and we'll all adjust as coaches. I think every year there's something new that comes about, and we'll adjust and get our teams to play a certain way.
You guys have gotten your share of 5-second calls. You've forced it, and is that a rule you'll miss in terms of the way you trap?
It's funny because as I played in college, which was I guess almost 20 years ago now, or maybe 20, that rule changed like 3 times as a player, or at least twice. So every year you kind of got to get accustomed to a new rule. I don't remember too many guys standing out there holding the ball like they did back in the days. We got our fair share of 5-second calls, so there could be a few, but overall, as a group of rule changes, I think it's pretty good, and we'll go with it, and hopefully we don't get put in harm's way too many times this season.
Coach, you've taken teams to NCAA tournaments, NITs. How big a jump is it to go from the NIT to the NCAA? How big a gap is that?
I think it's any jump you make, or going from a team that's hunting to the so-called hunted teams is a different. It kind of has a different aspect to it. And I think some of the teams that have made that jump in our league will now see, oh, now teams are coming and their A game comes for you really every time out now. So that's a big adjustment and jump. And then to go from an NIT to an NCAA tournament team is also the next step that you want to take as a program. And it's difficult. It's 2 more wins against teams that are, RPI, high RPI teams. And, but I'm confident that our league will get the average of what we got, which is 4 NCAA tournament teams, maybe 5, and then a group of them after that in the NIT. So the one great thing about our conference is that we have a high RPI, and you get a lot of high RPI games both on the road and at home in the league, which has allowed us to continue to be one of the top conferences in the country. But that jump is tough, and we'll see what teams are able to make it this season.
You talked anybody on your team call timeout, and that now that they have to call it? Are you telling certain guys that they should be the ones calling it? Or?
I wish we've gotten that far to this point. I'm trying to get them to run an offense and play defense the way it needs to be played to this point, and haven't really jumped into some of those rule changes quite yet. I mean, you need a side out of bounds play with 2 seconds on the shot clock to get it over half court. You need to figure out who's calling timeouts and different things of that nature. With where we are right this second, I'm more concerned with getting our team to play the game the right way. And once that happens, I'll start getting into some of the things that are going to be important to win games, the little things that can make or break a championship level team.
Go back to just talking about and taking that jump. You've been pretty vocal talking about how you want UMass to be that team who's competing near the top of the A-10 every year. In that talk, is this year, the next couple of years, an important kind of transition for you in getting to that point?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great time to be a UMass basketball coach and a fan. It's the first time we'll be able to recruit to a state-of-the-art practice facility, which I think now puts us in the upper echelon of our league with facilities and the things that are important to build a big-time program. It's a necessary in this day and age of college athletics. I love our team and our young guys of kind of setting the foundation for what we're trying to do here. And I'm not shying away from being and trying to be a postseason team every season that I'm the head coach. And I think this is a great opportunity for kind of the next wave of guys to step up and come through. And let's not forget, we've lost 7 starters over the last 2 years, so it's been kind of a transition and transformation. But we got good guys in the program. We got good guys that are sitting out this year. And Zach Lewis, and I'm looking forward to kind of where this all leads, which I think is a perennial postseason team that can be at the top of the Atlantic 10 Conference.